never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive.
I'm open to having sex or losing virginity. Jude, I think this was your topic.
Yeah, I just heard a young lady saying how she was eager to get it. She liked getting attention and affection from guys, and she felt like having sex brought a lot of that for her. And I feel like, you know, as a young man, I even feel like, you know, my life growing up, we're, you know, forced to think about sex at a young age. So I just want to know, what do you guys think about, like, you know, at what age is it appropriate to even think about sex? So how was that experience for you? Or what would you tell another young person that's listening to us? Like, you know, should it just all be, oh, I'm attracted to you, or I got feelings for you, or is it something you should discuss with your family, your parents? You know, so just what's your thoughts about it?
Well, I feel like I want to go first on this one, but
I'm gonna go first with this one. What's good, YouTube? C1 Mac back in the building with another video. Daily Wrapped Up Crew, link in the description box below. Check out their content, show them some love. Today, we're gonna get with it. I'm gonna start. I think, honestly, as soon as you start going through puberty, and I'm not going to say elementary, I think elementary can still be a little bit adolescent or a bit more beginnings, but at the same time, depending on the extremities of the environment that you grew up in, you might need to talk to your child as soon as possible. Ideally, to me, in my opinion, middle school. Middle school is the grounds where puberty kicks in. They feel a little bit older. They feel a little bit more mature because they're responsible to do more things. They're taking different classes. The school format change. The girls are changing. The guys are changing. The guys are getting more muscles. The girls are getting more curves. And they're probably doing more errands or more chores. So now they're taking up responsibility. Now they feel a certain type of way and move a little bit different. I just think because puberty gives them certain thoughts and certain feelings in their body that they never felt before, that it is very important to talk to them about it early so you can give them the best way to navigate those feelings, those urges, those conversations. There's so much information, and they just gotta, you know, be able to listen. They might not want to, they might feel it's awkward, this and the other, but if they feel like they old enough or whatever to do certain things at that age, then they should be old enough to learn how to have these conversations that are uncomfortable. I think that is part of the responsibility.
I feel like I lost my virginity at a young age. You know what I mean? I just think it comes down to comfortability. I mean, if you I don't even say you ain't think, if you think like you're ready, because when you're young you think you're ready for anything. You know what I mean? But I just this day and age, I think that there's a lot of access to sexual things. You know what I mean? Yeah. Porn. You know what I mean? Movies and stuff like that. So it's really hard. Like women, people are having sex at young ages in this generation. I just think it's education and comfortability at that point. I mean, like parents need to be in their children's lives and talking to them, especially in this generation, because it's so accessible.
But when you lost it, was it like, oh, I'm ready to lose it, or was it like you felt you were pressured to lose it? Because as young boys, we do get pressured. Oh, you still a virgin, or whatever the case is. I was just
Half
slapping
them
shorty
niggas
cheeks.
lying.
Yeah,
For sure, but you know what I mean. So did you feel like you were pressured, or you genuinely was in a situation where you like, I'm ready to have this? Like,
I think because I was a curious young kid, you know what I mean? So I had to dial up, you know what I mean? I was on the website, so I was curious at a young age. So once the opportunity presented itself, I jumped on it, and I don't regret it. You know what I mean? So at this age that I'm at, I still don't regret it. So I feel like I was comfortable and I was ready at my age, but that's not the case for everybody. You got to figure out where you at in your life and how comfortable you are.
and I believe you did break the record for the youngest person to ever eat ass, right?
No, I think that was Elijah. Elijah.
Who the fuck you just said that wasn't.
I think that was Elijah. Yeah.
That's wow.
Nigga, I don't know who
He
you
definitely
just said.
came out the womb eating ass. So I ain't gonna lie. To you.
Right. So
I will sit here and say, from my experience growing up, it wasn't stuff that I was thinking about myself. Like, I was curious about girls and the feelings that I was developing towards a girl and everything. But you definitely feel pressure by other friends talking about things or making an issue about you liking a girl, this, that, and the other. And boys will be boys, girls will be girls. And then when you start interacting with the counterpart, things tend to develop and happen, and you're not even sure how to guide through some of those things. And it can be as early as elementary school. I didn't lose my virginity until high school, but there was a lot of different types of pressures from school and not at school that built me up to that point. And I'll explain that in a minute.
what's your thoughts on this?
I would say personally, definitely having a conversation. Sex nowadays is, it could be easily accessible, but there's a lot of things going on in this world that you should definitely consider. Things that's incurable, and you want to make sure that that your safety is first, and that goes back into what I was saying about the self-love. You definitely want to get the information in and not just give your body to anybody.
Facts. Yeah. How y'all feel?
Oh, well, I got a 17-year-old that's staying with me with a baby.
That's what?
Staying with me with a baby.
That's a male or female?
Born. It's hard to talk to her about, God and stuff because she already did it already. So what I'm gonna say? She already did it.
You gotta talk to her about the next
I
one.
can talk to her about motherhood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How to take care of the
And
baby and stuff like that, but still don't get it.
Is the father in the life?
No.
See, you got that's what you need to talk to her about. Like the next time you have a baby, you gotta make sure this person is committed to you. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just be out here pushing them out.
Father, like,
right.
you know what I'm saying? He was abusive.
So can I ask you a question? What kind of men your daughter is into? Is she also
Not
into
her daughter. Said somebody.
No, you said daughter, right?
Your daughter, right?
No, not my daughter.
Oh, okay.
Was it a son?
It's a
No, she said she had somebody in.
best friend.
Oh, okay. I got you. I thought it was your daughter. Like,
She's
yeah.
like staying with us. She got a newborn baby. She's 17.
Right.
So like,
Her mother's in her life?
so much to her about sex, and I mean, I told her like, yo, protect yourself when you go out there. I don't know what you're doing, but
Yeah.
she's her own person. She's her own woman.
You still gotta talk to them though.
I still talk to her, but
Yeah.
they don't get it.
Is her
Not
mother,
like-
her parents in her life or no? Her parents are in her life,
Yeah.
and they're not talking to her.
Father died in her life.
Yeah.
Dad died in her life. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But I do talk to her from time to time. See where she at, in the head.
Yeah.
But she's not. There's no grinding mode. There's no nothing there. It's like she just numb.
Sorry, folks. We're gonna pray. Everybody need to pray.
For me,
Before she gets into it, I want to say I know parents sometimes have a hard time talking about it because they go through emotions that their child is growing up, feel like growing up too fast. They feel thrown off with having that talk, especially if the child brings up the question about it before the parents ready to talk about it, you know? And then parents are gonna feel how they feel about it. But and then the child is sometimes going to feel uncomfortable about it. And then some of the childs think they know what they're doing, or their business is so important they don't want you to be in it, and all of that ridiculousness back then. But when you're going through your day-to-day being at school and you have your parents not really knowing the environment that you're going through every day and how you tackle that environment and the person that you are in that environment compared to other classmates and this, that, and the other to know your tendencies, it's a whole different battlefield. It's a whole different thing. And, you know, that's different. I will sit here and say, definitely take time out to get enough information to talk about everything, you know? Even if you just never really use condoms like that, talk about condoms, understand condoms, learn about condoms, and talk about all the different reasons why it's important to use protection. Even the first thing they're gonna say, oh, I know y'all probably say it feels much better without a condom, which is true. And then even if it is true, here's the reason why you should still wear a condom at this time. And here's the things that you do if somehow you slip up in your decision making and you don't use a condom. These are the steps you have to make if somehow you come across it. I would really hope you don't. But if somehow you end up getting in this situation that I will probably have to reprimand you about, this is how you need to guide yourself through it step by step, so that way you can protect yourself at the best way that you possibly can. It does have a lot of different feelings and emotions that can be overwhelming, so you have to be very careful because there's responsibilities behind it if you don't do things properly or things go wrong.
I would definitely say you should start having sex when you're ready to have sex, and that could be any age or whatever. Me personally, I feel like I had sex too early. It wasn't that crazy, but I was senior in high school, so I think that's pretty late compared to a lot of people.
That's
For sure, yeah.
But,
For sure.
Why do you feel like it was too late?
I just because people was having sex in middle school,
That's a
so
Right.
it's like for me to wait all the way to my senior year, it was I kind of felt like okay, it wasn't too bad, but me now, I kind of wish that I never would have did it, but that's just me in the place that I am today.
Yeah.
But sex education is so important. I feel like you have to educate yourself, especially with everything that's going on in today's society. You just never know, and you need to get tested. You need to use protection, and I'm an educator, so I make sure I tell my students this all the time. Like, y'all out here having fun, but sometimes that fun gonna come with consequences. So,
Do you feel like you was pressured?
I felt like because I thought I was in love with my little boyfriend, I knew he wanted to, so I was just like, okay, whatever. But I regretted it afterwards.
We always want to.
Or was it a right after or later down the line?
It was right after.
Goddamn.
Crazy this, man. Nah, I definitely agree with what you said about the sex education. Damn, motherfuckers is going crazy over there. Like, yo, I'm not gonna hold you, but the sex education is definitely important. I think the access to the sexual content, I feel like that shit is just fucking you can't avoid that motherfucker. Like before, even when the internet was new, we had to dial up. There was still parental controls. Like now, the kids are putting the parental controls for the parents, like, you know what I'm saying? They're locking the parents out. They don't like, no. Like,
in my day, like I was more tech savvy than my parents. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, it's on. That shit was off the whole time. You know what I mean? Like,
we were just switching on and off.
Yeah.
So for definitely more education. Maybe try to restrict them to sexual contact as much as possible. You know what I mean? Even when they be on these games, maybe an ad might pop up, and I don't know. Yeah. You know what I mean? So having these conversations, letting them know the ramifications. When I was in middle school, we had, and nobody seems to have had this situation, but for home economics, they gave us a baby to take home for the weekend.
I never had that,
bro.
That's only outside the tri-state, bro.
I seen it on TV. So
yeah, I seen it in shows, but we never had it in the tri-state.
But it was definitely a great experience because that shit cried. You had to hold it a certain way. You got to fucking put the battery in.
You know what's crazy? In junior high school, I'm watching I think it might have been Family Matters or Fresh Prince or something. And they had to take home the baby and shit. I'm like, yo, so when we get to high school, we gonna get that? I got to high school, and it was none of that shit, bro. I'm like, what the fuck?
My baby dad was gonna be and everything. I was excited.
But that weekend showed me a lot about being a parent. I was like, nah, I ain't trying to do this. So again, I had a different mentality. Like, let me wear more protection. Obviously, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that could change your whole perspective.
Yeah, and needs to be more. Obviously, we just live in the sexual, use protection, please. Like, you know what I mean?
Like it didn't affect me, but I'm pretty sure it affected other people in my age group.
Sure, I feel like.
Before you get to it, I want to sit here and say this. For those that might need to share this part, maybe, or for those that might need some guidance or anything like that, I'm going to say this from my personal experience. You have to understand that not only your child is growing up, but it's time to teach your child not only how to be responsible, but also simultaneously you're teaching them to how to have and guide through uncomfortable conversations that they have to know how to have in the future. As far as intercourse, if you really want them to wear condoms, right, you will go out the way to teach them about birth control and all of that stuff. But birth control can definitely affect a lot of young girls to women's health in so many ways with side effects. So the guys got to be able to do their part as well at a young age. And if you are a single mom, single dad, or one parent home, or two parent home, y'all have to really go in description to really give some guidance towards things. Like, for instance, don't just sit there and say wear condoms and be so broad about it. Like, teach them about condoms. Teach them, like, have a bunch of different condoms, all the different types and the different uses. And I think going and understanding the different uses will help put more emphasis and giving them knowledge to know what to do with the condoms and why it's important to have condoms. Like, they don't have to wait till they go to school to show pictures of all different types of STDs and they wouldn't want to deal with this and that and all of that stuff. But I think it's very important because there's a lot of women that are allergic to latex. But if you just say wear a condom and don't bother to explain that some girls are allergic to latex, so get non-latex condoms, or trying to understand your size, so buy this and buy that to try to figure out in your spare time, this and the other, like the proper way of wearing them instead of wearing the wrong ones and possibly being loose or breaking them. It's important just to go over details like that so they can have more information and they can make better decisions based on the information you taught them so they can guide and navigate themselves through it. I think the child baby thing definitely does help. I think when the schools show the videos of the different STDs and stuff like that and doing sex ed classes, that helps. I just think, in honesty, I just think it would have been better if you did sex ed every 2 years from middle school to graduation, just to revamp and always have a refresher. I think it would be helpful if schools and clinics kind of have access to being able to have accessibility to different condoms, so that way if kids were thinking about it even though they shouldn't be, you know, they still were able to access different condoms at a very, you know, secure rate, or increase the possibility of protecting themselves. So a lot of that would have helped, to be my honest opinion. But when you don't go into details, it's broad, parent don't feel like talking about it, it's just not going to help in the long run.
Exactly opposite. Like you said, you don't. It's not that I want to say I regret having sex, but the person I lost my virginity to, like, I didn't say any words to her afterwards. You get what I'm saying? I feel like that's pointless. There's no connection. I wish it was with somebody I actually cared for, or somebody I had even dated. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about 2-3 weeks later, I ain't never say nothing else. I was like,
you paid for a stripper?
No, it was
like,
a girl from the building I lived in. But once she didn't give me it again, I was like, all right, well, fuck it, next to the next person. But I felt like I had to get it again because the pressure that we don't speak on, but like all your homeboys is lying to you, telling you you ain't get no pussy. Oh, this nigga ain't no pussy. So I'm like, 14 years old, like, nah, I gotta get finding out this nigga ain't getting no pussy, and I'm fighting a battle that don't exist. You get what I'm saying?
He said, I was just clapping some cheeks. Matter of fact, on my way here, I was clapping some cheeks.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, we feel pressured and feel like we have to do it. But I think even as men, we shouldn't just look for sex. You know what I'm saying? At a young age, we need to focus on how we gonna grow and build. You know what I'm saying? Outside of sex, get some pussy when you're ready and when you comfortable. Or with that right person, but don't just throw it away on a throwaway. No pun intended.
What? I think, and I'm gonna say this and wrap this video up, I think there's so many different aspects about sex and intercourse that should be explained, even though it's uncomfortable. I think the more that they know, the more that they would think about and this, that, and the other. But the more information and the more knowledge that they have, the better chances that they can make better decisions to protect themselves, especially at a young age where puberty is hitting you. And from a guy point of view, as a boy growing up, you see older women with nice curves, you see the women your age with growing curves. And now you want to know how things feel, how you will feel if you kiss a girl, how you feel if you finally get to feel on things. And the more knowledge, the more you can navigate through that. I know a lot of parents ideally don't want to know that their child is trying to do all of that at middle school, but you want them to be prepared through the peer pressure, through the decisions that they have to learn how to make more carefully or slip laps. You want to be prepared regardless of which way they go, whether they're responsible or not. Because you want to sit there and say, I did everything to, teach my child the responsibility of sex, different things about sex, and, why it's such a big step. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. When did you lose your virginity? Were you pressured? Did you regret it? I would sit there and say, for my virginity, I ain't gonna lie. I was so worried about what was the song that was out? There was a song called Minute Man that I used to hear indirectly all the time. And it was correlating with me going to school, and guys would brag about things that they probably were lying about just to sound cool. but they was talking to all these other people because they had just a little bit of more knowledge than me, so they were confident versus people that had no knowledge. But you know, temptation was crazy. You know, puberty was crazy, and there was a whole bunch of emotions and feelings that you couldn't fit and not understand or contain, or even know how to contain it. That you had to figure out yourself. But I didn't want to be a mini man. Like, I worked super, super hard trying to understand, no pun intended, trying to understand what can I learn to not be a mini man. So when I finally lost my virginity and I wasn't a mini man, I was glad. I was just glad my first experience lasted for a great time, for a good time. So I felt good about myself. I got a chance to try a lot of different positions to see how different things feel, see the anticipation of the climax and all of this stuff. Definitely got in trouble, but you know, that's another story for another time. Until next time, until next channel, peace.